this video, we are going to look at the wide world of URL shorteners. Have you ever visited an article like this and you wanted to share it with one of your colleagues? You copy the URL in the browser and you get this ridiculously long URL. What do you do with that if you want to share it and you don't expect your colleague to type in this very long URL? Let's take a look. There are many URL shortener services out there. The list is very long. Some of them you want to be careful about using because if the service goes defunct, the URL shorteners may no longer work. So you do want to pick one of the more major ones. What are some major ones that you may have seen? Bitly is one that is pretty popular. They all work the same basic way. You find a field somewhere at the website that says paste a link to shorten it. So we had that long one that I just showed you. I paste it in there, tell Bitly to shorten it, and it gives me this really nice shorter URL that I can then copy and paste into a document or something that I expect people to print that may not have a hyperlink in it. Another one that's pretty well known is Owly. Again, there's that field that you can paste into and tell it to shrink it. And in this case, it's asking me to prove that I'm a human being. So I may have to go through that the first time, but at some point it's going to give me a shorter URL. Another one that is pretty well known is tinyurl.com. So again, front and center is this box where I can paste in the long URL and make it a tiny URL. And so that following URL, the one that I typed in, it had 406 characters. And now it's going to give me a new longer one. So it's much shorter down there. So there are many different choices. In this video, though, we're going to look at one that is the one that I recommend. The URL shortener that I like is the Google URL shortener, which is found at goo.gl. So as you come here, it has a nice, neat interface. It's clear where you paste your URL. I'm going to shorten it. Now, this time it's going to, for the first time that I use it, it's going to ask me to prove that I'm not a robot. So I'm going to type in the verification that it gives me. And just that quickly, it has taken that very long URL and it has shortened it into a form where I can copy that short URL and paste it into a document, perhaps a document that I expect to be printed where there's no hyperlink. And now that I have a URL that is easy for someone to type in. Now, if you do give this URL to someone else, make sure they understand that it is case sensitive. So that S has to be a capital S, that R has to be lowercase, and so on. So the URL shortener itself is very easy to use. Students can use it. It is anonymous. However, there are benefits to logging in. So let's take a look at that next. By default, this browser did not sign me in, but if you have multiple Gmail accounts, you'll want to make sure that you are not logged in the wrong one. Otherwise, you'll be collecting shortened URLs in several different accounts. So I'm going to sign in. And if you use your CPS account, it looks like you have to put at cps.edu. If you're using a regular Gmail account, you could just type the username itself. So I've used goo.gl before, as you can see, with my CPS email account. And take a look at this. What's nice when you're logged in is that it saves that long URL and it gives you some analytics about how it's being used. So as you look at this, you can see that it will tell you when a URL was created, how it was shortened, and even how many people use that link to click into the document that you are recommending. So that can be helpful. Sometimes somebody may come back to you and say, what was that short URL? And you'll be able to let them know. You can even select it by, um, what you've done in the last month, or if you've done an all time, how frequently you have looked for them. So that it's just that easy. URL shorteners are quite easy to use themselves, but by logging in, you can get the analytics that you want as well. So goo.gl is a simple place to start to save your URLs, and please enjoy. Thank you.